My name is Daniela, and I've eaten meat all my life. I don't eat meat every single day, but I would still consider my meat consumption to be pretty regular, at least a couple of times a week, but definitely not every day. As a part of this video series on factory farming and the problems with the meat industry, I felt like, I thought it would be fun to try and experiment with being vegetarian and to just be able to practice reducing my meat intake in general. I know a week isn't really that long of a time to really understand what a certain lifestyle is like, but nonetheless, I feel like it was still a pretty good introduction into what that might look like. So, just to get into it, as a part of this experiment, I wanted to try a bunch of different meat substitutes, like substitute hamburger, substitute hot dog, things like this. I've never had anything like that before in my entire life. I've never eaten any meat substitutes before. So this was my first time. I just wanted to see what it was like. So a large part of this video will be me, talking about that experience, talking about what they were like. But I think more importantly, in general, I just wanted to talk about the experience in general. I think that this week was a great experience, seeing what it would be like to live a meat-free lifestyle. I think I learned a lot of things about myself that I wasn't expecting to discover as a result of this video. But yeah, so first I want to talk about the meat substitute products. So everything that I'll be talking about, I found all of it except the plant-based bacon. I found all of it at Trader Joe's. So I first went to my local grocery store, Walmart, and they didn't have anything really. So then I went to Trader Joe's and they had a pretty big selection. Like I said, I got everything except one item from there. And then I also went to Ralph's, which actually Ralph's had a lot of the same products that Trader Joe's had, but a lot of it was sold out. But at Ralph's I did buy some plant-based bacon, but ultimately Trader Joe's was cheaper than Ralph's. So if anyone would be interested in trying this themselves or trying some of it themselves, I would definitely recommend Trader Joe's as the place to go looking for that sort of thing. But yeah, so let me get into talking about my opinions on the plant-based substitutes. So I tried plant-based hot dog, plant-based bacon, 2 different veggie burgers, plant-based deli sandwich turkey meat, and plant-based chicken tenders. So I'll just talk about it in that order. The plant-based hot dog was not good. It, simply put, it was not that good. First thoughts, just by looking, to me, it mostly looks like a real hot dog. I can tell, obviously, if I'm really looking at it, but, from a quick glance, I would think it was a normal hot dog. It smells like a campfire, but in a good way. It smells smoky. Okay, so let me try a plain one first. Okay. Gotta be honest, really not my favorite. Plain. It kind of it tastes like a hot dog, but a little off. Okay. Tastes good like that. It tastes good with other stuff. It was okay. I think as you'll see it, as I keep talking about these, it becomes pretty clear that a lot of these products are okay, but then there's an aftertaste that really hits that, in my opinion, I don't really like. It's not really ideal. But yeah, so the plant-based hot dog. Yeah, I didn't like it, and I would not purchase it again, and I really would not recommend it. Again, like I said, it was a fun experience, fun to try, but I would not be buying this again. I think in the clip, I actually say that it's not that bad. If I remember correctly, I think I did say that it was actually okay. But, like, after I had finished filming that clip and I, like, sat and, like, thought about it, I was like, actually, I don't want this ever again, never mind. So that was kind of a trend with a lot of these things. A lot of these plant-based meats was originally, I thought it wasn't so bad. I thought it was okay. I might even have said that I liked it. But then once the like novelty of the situation wore off and I took a couple more bites, I was like, never mind. I don't like this that much at all. Plant-based bacon was not good either. I don't like this taste. Yeah. That one was interesting because it didn't taste bad because of the plant-based quality to it. I just didn't like the flavor. So actually, somebody else might really like this. It was fine. It didn't really have the texture of bacon, in my opinion. But I didn't like the flavor. The plant-based chicken tenders actually were pretty good. I wouldn't mind eating it again. Okay. This isn't so bad. Okay. Let me try it with some ketchup. Yeah. It's good like that. I wouldn't say that they really tasted like chicken tenders, but they were good. Like, they were good. It wasn't very visually exciting, uncooked. But once you cook it, it actually looks pretty good, pretty all right. Which I will say was also a sort of a trend. Like the sandwich meat and the plant-based bacon looked kind of a little bit weird on their own. Especially the plant-based bacon kind of had an interesting look to it prior to being cooked. The plant-based sandwich turkey, which I'll get into in a second, looked a little bit interesting close up, but obviously if you eat it in a sandwich as intended, it's not an issue. But yeah, the plant-based chicken tenders were pretty decent. I tried 2 different plant-based hamburgers. They're more like plant-based veggie burgers, right? So it's not so much that they're trying to be meat substitutes, but obviously if you're not going to eat a hamburger, this is kind of like a substitute for that. But the intention is not like to taste like meat, But actually both of these were pretty decent. Okay. Whoa. The inside kind of looks like meat, actually. The veggie burgers were pretty good. I would recommend them. I would buy them again. The Dr. Prager's one was pretty good. I think from all of the plant-based things that I bought, that was probably the best purchase for sure. It's a lot of vegetables. Yeah, this is good. This one's good. This is good. Out of all of the vegetarian, vegan things that I've tried so far, this is by far the best thing. So lastly, the plant-based sandwich turkey. Similarly to the hot dog, where on its own, I didn't enjoy the taste. There was a strange aftertaste to it, in my opinion. But if you put it, obviously, with other ingredients in a sandwich, it becomes less of an issue. You don't really notice it as much. Inside the sandwich, it was okay. I find myself being afraid of the aftertaste. But just ultimately, there was something a little bit off for me that, I wasn't really enjoying it. Yeah, the aftertaste is obviously less noticeable inside of the sandwich, but nonetheless, it was still ultimately there, and it was just kind of, I wouldn't recommend it. So, coming to my final thoughts on the meat substitutes. All in all, I would say this was an interesting experience. This was a fun experience for anyone curious. I would definitely recommend trying these things out every once in a while because it was actually fun. But if you were, if you were genuinely looking to practice, you know, reducing your meat intake, I would not suggest replacing the meat with meat substitutes. I would honestly just eat things that don't have meat in them. Um, yeah, my biggest takeaway is, yeah, I really would not recommend a majority of these meat substitutes. As I said, the veggie burgers were good, and the plant-based chicken tenders were actually pretty good too. But the rest not so much. Yeah, so if you want to try out maybe a week being vegetarian or every other week or 2 days a week or whatever, yeah, I would not say that the best way to go about it is to substitute the meat with fake meat essentially. I would say the best thing you could do for yourself is just learn new recipes and eat things that just don't involve meat. Kind of an overall reflection of this week. It definitely went by faster than I thought it would. It was actually a lot of fun. It was really interesting. The reason that I would recommend this, aside from the benefits of reducing your meat consumption, for the environment and things like that, I would also recommend this experience because it will definitely teach you something about yourself and your eating habits. I think that was what most surprised me overall was what I learned about myself as a result of this that I wasn't expecting at all. Yeah, as a result of this week, I came to realize that I actually eat a lot of fast food. I think I already knew this, obviously, but it kind of hit me like the amount of fast food that I do eat because as a result of this week, I obviously couldn't have, you know, that much fast food. Oh, also, another plant based substitute that I had was I did try the Beyond Burger from Carl's Jr. I think a couple of other places sell that too, but I know that Carl's Jr. set has the Beyond Burger, and yeah, it was pretty good. I would recommend eating it like pretty warm though. I kind of felt like when it started to cool off, it wasn't as good. The flavor wasn't as good, but it was all right. Yeah. Also from Chipotle, I would say Chipotle is actually a pretty good place for fast food if you don't want to eat meat because you can get so many other things even without the meat. If you do want to put like a protein in there, they do sell sofritas, which are a plant-based protein. And so I did get that. I got Chipotle a couple of days ago with that as my protein. So there was no meat. And actually, it was pretty good. I would definitely buy that again. I would definitely eat that again. It was really, really good, actually. I liked that better than my Beyond Burger experience for sure. Yeah, so overall, the week, yeah, was a lot of fun. Additionally, I realized I came to the conclusion that I don't really eat fruit like ever, which is so bad. My fruit and like vegetable consumption is very poor, and I didn't even realize that until this week, which is kind of sad, but it's true. So that's kind of something I've been addressing lately. I would definitely recommend that everyone try something like this, and put this sort of thing into practice. Just, just taking one day out of the week and saying, okay, I won't have any meat today can still be impactful on an environmental level and also for your health and also for you. I think it might push some people to try new things. That's definitely what happened to me. Yeah, like I said, even just one day a week, if you decide, okay, every Monday, meatless Mondays, every Monday of the week I won't have any meat. Even just that practice would be great. Or if you were like, okay, I'll be vegetarian every 2 weeks, for example, figuring out what works for you, but still working to reduce your meat consumption, I think is something to seriously consider. Yeah, overall, I do think I will carry a lot from this experience. I do plan on continuing to be mindful about what I'm eating and what I'm not eating, continuing to reduce my meat consumption, just being mindful, at least, like I said, at least once a week to have a day where I don't eat any meat purposefully with intention. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this experience. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. This was the final video in the 3-part video series about factory farms and what you can do about it. And yeah, thank you.